Now we put out a snap poll on this subject, and we asked a fixed sample who we surveyed through the afternoon and through the early part of the day today, and we asked them that in a historic Supreme Court verdict, the court has said, and I put the results out on our screen right now. We said in this historic verdict, it has said that citizens need to have a right to reject as in the elections. Now, this means that the next time you go out to vote, if you don't like any of the candidates, that there will be an option you have to reject. And the answers are very, very interesting. Do you support the decision? Do you think voters who would not go out to vote will now start voting? 81%. Let's put out the results here as I introduce our panelists. Sanjay Jha stays on. Mohandas Pai representing a Citizen Voice tonight. Aam Aadmi Party, Shazia Ilmi. Satyapal Jain heads the legal cell of the BJP. Devesh Thakur represents the JDU point of view. Thank you very much. And TSR Subramaniam, former cabinet secretary and activist. The second answer is what I find most interesting. The question was, after the verdict, do you think the voters who would not go to vote because of a dislike for all the candidates would now start voting? 81% say yes. That's a magical number, isn't it, Mohandas Pai? It tells you that there are a lot of people out there who would potentially be disenchanted, would say, I don't feel enthused to go out and vote at all. But just to reject, to say, I hate the political representatives who are out there today, and it is my choice to reject all of you, even if it gives them a perverse pleasure to reject, is an important right they want to exercise. Mohandas Pai, why are the political parties looking so cautious then about this?
No, Arnab, the middle class has always said that they don't find the candidates good enough to vote, and they wanted to have this, and the reason they did not go out and vote was this option not available. Now, of course, this option is available, and it will send a clear signal about the voting on all the candidates, and the majority of votes are for people whom they don't like. It will be a slap on the political face. So I think the political parties are very circumspect because now they will know that more and more people will come to vote, and if they vote, they may not press this button, they may press a button for a candidate of their choice because their excuse for not voting has been taken away. So I think the voting is going to be much closer. There will be a great number of people who will press this button that I don't like any candidate, but I think political parties are certainly in a very unenvious position because of this. I think they don't like it anymore.
What political parties do always, when they realize they are cornered by public opinion, it's a transparent process they now follow. They first say, it's a good idea, we welcome it. And then they say, but there are certain processes we want it to go through. And then they say, we'll put it through certain committees. We are in the process of formulating those committees. If you express impatience at the degree and the nature of reform, they say, well, you know what? This is government. And if you challenge them any further, then others will say, if we are elected and you are not, so you better keep quiet and shut up, and we have the right to do what exactly we want to do. So I know this has been the response. And tonight, I would like to say, Satyapal Jain, with great respect to you, even the BJP is buying time. If the BJP is sincere, or the Congress is sincere, then why don't you have an ordinance on this? I can assure you the whole nation will support you. Have an ordinance on this, Satyapal Jain. Why not?
Ordinance on what?
Ordinance to introduce the right to reject people we don't like.
No. Mr.
Why no?
Swami, please try to appreciate. There is no need of any ordinance, there is no need of any new act. The Supreme Court in its judgment has declared Rule 41, Sub-Rule 2 and 3 and Rule 49O, which earlier permitted a voter to give a form in writing that I don't want to vote, which amounted to disclosing his secrecy and identity. Now Supreme Court has gone a step further, which is a welcome step. It says, now we direct the Election Commission to, instead of relying on Rule 1 and 2, you make a provision in the EVM itself, and the next column after the column of all the candidates, there will be a column, there will be a button that I do not want to vote for any of the candidates. Nothing more is required. This judgment stands implemented from today. It's a direction to the Election Commission of India. So no need of any ordinance, no need of any act. It stands implemented, and any election which now will be held after this judgment, the Election Commission...
So the Delhi election, the Madhya Pradesh election, one second. TSR, Shazia Ilmi, so therefore the state elections will have an option to reject? The upcoming state elections in December?
Yes, of course. This is it will start from October, November. It will start right away, and essentially the procedure will be very, very simple. all you need is to have one more button. If there are 10 candidates, you have provision for the 11th button, which will say, which is for none. Arnab, can I add one more point here?
Yeah, go ahead. Please continue.
This may appear a fairly simple, small move. I think the significance of this is that we are now on the path of electoral reforms. After a long time, the first reform has started, and the entire corruption in India can be traced to our electoral system, and reform of that is going to dramatically change the corruption system in India, and we need 20 or 25 reforms. Don't forget that the drama that we saw today, the Bollywood we saw today, also means 2 reforms have come today.
What Bollywood?
Neither BJP nor Congress can hit, neither Congress nor BJP can attack the 2-year conviction thing anymore.
Yeah.
And this has come, which is therefore red letter day. I was a very pessimistic person. Don't expect results from this tomorrow.
No, I don't.
This will work itself through the system over a period of years. You will find the results.
I'm not expecting results tomorrow, but I think it is heartening that the Supreme Court has said this. Yet I want to place on record as I go to Shazia Elmi, and I'm not saying this to make it political. The fact is, Shazia, the Manmohan Singh government was told by the Election Commission twice, and the BJP government, Vajpayee, also was told by the Election Commission once, please bring in the right to reject. And today you see both Sanjay Jha and Satyapal Jain are putting up what I may say a rather fake act that we are for this, because they don't want to lose the support of people who feel that they would like to reject both the Congress and the BJP. But the fact is, Shazia, both Vajpayee and Manmohan Singh sat on this whole proposal of the Election Commission for the right to reject until a petition had to be filed and the apex court had to intervene.
True. Well, absolutely, Arnab, and you can understand why. If you see the selection of candidates, the whole process in all the parties, there is no internal democracy. It is an opaque process. 1/3 of Indian parliamentarians are there because of the law of dynastic succession. They're there because of their last names. They're hereditary MPs. And the other 1/3, and I'm sure if you have a Venn diagram, many of them would, they would come in the same area. And another 1/3, if you look at, have criminal records against them. Now, look at the people. They have to go and vote between 2 parties, or 2 parties which are part of a larger, 2 big alliances, NDA and UPA. And they don't have a choice in the matter. They're stuck with the same candidates. This will put pressure on the parties to find meritorious candidates, candidates who are deserving, candidates who will be more appealing to the voters. This is giving power. This is empowering the voter to have a choice in the matter.
Yeah,
so
but will it change the way people do politics? For example, the JDU, and it's, look at the JDU. Look at the JDU. Look at Devesh Thakur's party. 58 out of Devesh Thakur's party's 118 MLAs have criminal cases before them. 58 out of 180. How much is that? About 55-60% are all criminal cases against them. Of these 58, Devesh Thakur, 43 have serious criminal cases. Now I'll tell you the beautiful statistic. Out of these 43, 23 have murder charges. And 35 have attempt to murder charges. No, you're laughing, but you're smiling, but I think that's a very tragic statistic I read out. And that's why we need the right to reject.
Well, Arnab, as far as we are concerned, as far as JDU is concerned, we welcome this right to reject as an idea, definitely.
No, what do you mean idea?
There's no doubt about it.
See, that's the...
I just want to know as to how good you can put it into practice.
Why?
I just want to know how good you can put it into practice. Because as I just saw one of your clippings, and I agree with that, Respected Sitaram Yechuri came on the clip, and he did say, now suppose more than 50-60% of the people opt for that button which says
right to reject.
Right to reject. We don't want
by the way, I just want to say I'm going to take some callers now.
So the
in
winner,
2 minutes. We're going to open up the calls.
So the winner from the next 40%.
Yeah.
So the next winner from the next 40% is the one who is otherwise have been rejected by 60% of the people from that constituency.
So what do you saying? Are you
But still he is going to be the winner because he is going to the highest vote.
Devesh Thakur, in the communally polarized politics of Uttar Pradesh, let me place on record that no political party, he wins for 50% of the vote. So you know why the BJP and the Samajwadi Party are trying to polarize the situation there, so that 4-5% more of the vote gets polarized. They get that 4-5%, they get 23-24%, and then they win the election. So please don't tell me that people representing MLAs and MPs are all getting 50% of the vote. They are not. It's a divided vote anyway. But
no, but that's what you are saying. That's what you are saying. That
I think you are quibbling.
That's what you are saying, that most of the people will exercise that vote.
I think you are quibbling.
That's what you are saying, that most of the people might exercise that vote.
What I'm saying tonight is this.
No, that's what you
I'm saying tonight is this. This is the grand conspiracy between you and the Congress and the BJP. All of you will say great idea, great idea, great idea.
You might say so. You have the liberty to say so. That does not make it the truth, Arnab.
Well,
that does not make it the truth. You have the liberty to say so.
No, it is the truth. It is the truth.
Not necessarily what you say is the truth.
No, it is the truth. It is the truth because in 2001 and 2004.
Reply to this argument, I will like to give reply to this argument.
Okay.
See, two things more are required to be done now. Number one, we have to move now for compulsory voting, because unless all voters come, you can't have the true verdict.
Agreed, agreed, 100%.
The point which has been raised
agreed,
by
100%.
Mr. Sitaram Yechury has raised a point that in case somebody, the highest percentage of votes getting candidate is less than the negative voting.
Yeah.
I personally think that if the negative voting is more than the candidate, the election should be cancelled and there should be repolling in that constituency.
No, I take it, but you know, I find this quibbling. You know, what happens is, Mohandas Pai, is that what are all these political parties doing? I know what they'll do. They'll say, let's take it up as an issue. Let us form a committee. If there's too much public pressure, put it up in cabinet, take it to a standing committee. Let's freeze it for the next decade. Now, I don't think, I'll take a few callers. I can tell you people are restless. They're not willing to wait a decade. And the fact is, Mohandas Pai, this is what the Supreme Court has done. Not the Congress party sat on it. Manmohan Singh refused to act on it. Our Prime Minister refused to act on it for the last 9 years.
That's the sad.
That's a fact of life.
That's a sad fact, Arnab. That's a sad fact, Arnab. I think all of them want to game the system. All of them want to play the system. When they come on your channel, they support the Supreme Court decision. When they go to Parliament, somebody will move an amendment to amend the law to make sure that this act is nullified.
Exactly.
For example, we saw the Supreme Court decision about people getting convicted, not being made a member of Parliament. They all came on TV and said this is good, but they go back to Parliament and try to change the law, and now they passed an ordinance. And thankfully, Rahul Gandhi understood the impact of this and possibly the anger of the young people and made this statement, and now it's been taken back. This is hypocrisy at work, Arnab. We need much more remarks, but I think what has happened is good.
No, of course it is. But Sanjay Jha wanted to say something there. Sanjay, before you say anything, can you tell us why your Prime Minister, who says that I want to clean up politics, etc., I want to introduce transparency in politics, why, just curious to ask you, why for 9 years did you sit on the Election Commission request? 9 years. Why?
Arnab, let me tell you no, it's a very simple answer, and the simple answer is that electoral reforms also required political consensus, and this is something that we cannot have unilaterally pushed it through. I'm glad it's happened. We welcome this decision, and please don't be cynical enough to dismiss this as just a tokenism that I'm making on your channel.
Shazia is not convinced.
All I would like to say is,
no, 1 second. Who was blocking you? Who was blocking you? No, who was blocking you? Who was blocking you?
Without the right to repolling.
No, 1 second.
Let that happen.
Sorry? Please. In 2004, the Election Commission T.S. Krishnamurthy then wrote to the Prime Minister, and he said the Commission has received proposals from a very large number of individuals and organizations that there should be a provision enabling voter to reject candidates in the constituency. This was a specific proposal. So first of all, you are saying electoral reforms, lack of political consensus. The argument does not even fly here. We're not talking about broad sweeping electoral reforms. We're speaking of very specific provision. TSR Subramaniam is not convinced either, neither is Shazia. TSR Subramaniam. TSR Subramaniam first.
I'm not convinced because we have not reached political consensus on Lokpal for the last 45 years. I don't think we'll reach political consensus in the next 50 years. So I don't think the political community is keen on any reforms whatever relating to, we saw what happened in RTI. We saw what happened in, so therefore, because sadly all
the RTI is a
reforms
reality, Mr.
have to
Subramaniam.
come only through the court today, only through the court today, number one. And give me one
Then
more
why
minute,
resisting coming under it?
Arnab, give me one more minute, that the credit now has to go, the combination of the following.